but I told you now you just be with me. So usually you are given ample time. There is hardly one homework in a week time, 1 or 2 question, and you can complete during the whole week, and you can use your weekend as well. Anyways, now we are clear about that. So you will follow this, right? So let's begin with our lesson. We were talking about the downfall of the Mughal Empire. How many reasons we had discussed in the previous classes? Can you tell me? How many? Please keep some idea. You should have some idea. If not, like you can't. I'm not saying to give me each and every detail, but at least headings, something.
Sir,
Hmm?
wars of succession.
Wars of succession, okay, and Aurangzeb's reforms or policies, right?
Yes.
We did these two.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, please follow with me, so I can take you through all this. What we have started. So, wars of succession was one. Aurangzeb policies was two, right? And now I'll continue. Let me check my. Okay, just in a second. It will be working. So, two we have discussed so far, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm just looking for this thing to come up.
So which page number?
Page number it's 16, 17, but right now you follow me. Okay. Actually, I will let you through this. Can you see the board now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Okay. Maybe not making very much sense to you here, but I will explain. This is you have to go through. Okay. Now check it here. You have Aurangzeb's reign, right? We have done this one, right? Aurangzeb reign, Aurangzeb policies, reforms. Done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And we have done Aurangzeb's successors as well, right? That they were lazy and incompetent and all that stuff, right?
Yes, sir.
So these 2 points clear to you. Okay. So now see here. Okay. Military expertise declining. Okay. Now, this is another reason: military expertise or decline in military expertise. You can write it in this way if you feel more comfortable. I can write this: declining military expertise. What is the point? Declining military expertise. Okay. Now, Mughals were once the mighty and powerful, and that is why they were able to defeat. When Babur came here, he had a smaller army as compared to Ibrahim Lodi, who was the ruler of Delhi. But he was advanced than him. His weaponry, when we talk about military expertise, what is that? That basically your weaponry. Okay. What next? Your war tactics. We call it warfare planning. Okay. And then your army, how it is trained or organized. Okay. Is it clear? This is called military expertise, nutshell. Is it clear to you guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Be responsive quickly so that we can finish. These are very simple point, not difficult. So what happened that Mughals were mightier, they were powerful, and they remained so. For a long period of time. So if you want to see this, so from 1526, when they took over, defeated this Ibrahim Lodi. From this point onward, They were mightier and powerful till even 1707. So here, their military was on the top. No one could, not even British who were there in India, not even other Marathas, Rajputs, Sikhs, etc. No one. They had mighty. But afterwards, it declined. Declined why? Because one thing is that Mughal did not upgrade it. You need upgradation. It's a continuous phenomena. So did not upgrade it. They did not upgrade it, right? So it was not upgraded simply. Upgraded mean you should know that by 1707 and onward there was industrial revolution in the world, machine revolution in the world, and in army or weaponry there was explosive and many things were in, but Mughals like old pattern still. So they didn't even organize and train army, so no upgradation. So whereas their competitors, they had advanced army, particularly British and the others. So that is another reason that their military expertise declined, and they did not upgrade their army. Their weaponry warfare, which was once mightier, with the passage of time rusted and became obsolete, outdated, you can say. And neither the organization and training of army was improved, and they had no competition with their competitors. So that is it. Is this point clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And this then lead to weak control. When your army is weak, when your forces and your police and other system overall, your administration and everything, it's not efficient. So what happens then? You lose control on your in your empire, on your areas. So even being what we say, even today, in today's concept, a country, if it doesn't have a strong army and strong government, and if there are elements in that country, like we could see what happened to Libya or Syria, we could see that when the ruling government, they lost control and there were problems, so they were not able to control the elements who were against them. So there was a war in the country, civil war, and that means that you are now losing control. And same situation was developing in Pakistan as well. 2000 onward, you saw, if you don't know, but you must have some idea that there was a huge terrorism and war on terror was going on in Pakistan, right? And we faced so many bomb blasts and other things. And in this case, if state was weak and army was weak, the other element could have taken over. But uh, Alhamdulillah that they were able to control them, so establish their control. So did you understand this thing, that once your government and military and other thing weak, so other elements whosoever are there, in the case of Mughals, there were British, there were Rajput, Maratha, Sikhs. These were the forces that already, even in Aurangzeb time, who was a powerful ruler, but they rebelled. So that's why Aurangzeb fought against Marathas for 25 years. So by this way they started losing their control now on their empire, which was once under them and nobody could dare to rebel against. But now many of them declare themselves independent of Mughals. Is it clear now? We control.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now here you see this WAAM. What is this? Warm, right? Did you see this word?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's
Yes.
Is there any word like this? Warm? Have you ever seen any word like this before?
Sir, I've heard a word awam, not warm.
You have heard them. Okay. So warm could be something somewhere, but here, um, does it make any sense to you? Do you think that if it is related to something here?
So maybe it's a short form of one
Short.
sentence.
Okay, let me not let tell you not spending a lot of time. I bracketed it. It's been like grouped as one. It's written one, right? Did you see this? One mentioning 1, 2, 3, 4 as one. This whole is grouped, right? Bracketed. Did you see this? Did you notice this? Hurry up. Tell me yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Now what is this? Because in theoretical subjects like history, there are so many things which you have to recall. Your 60%, 65% uh, of the ability is of recalling, because you have to sit in the exam and you have to recall things. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now when there are so many reasons as here, declining reasons for the Mughals, downfall of the Mughal, there are so many, so it becomes little difficult. So we devise some sort of strategy that how I could easily recall without lot of rotting and cramming and and still forgetting. So what is done, that these reasons are somehow related to each other. Aurangzeb's reign, uh, afterwards came his successors. A successor were weak, lazy, indulge in luxuries. So definitely they did not pay attention to their military and other things. So it declined. And when military declined, you lost the control. So do you see some sort of relevance with one to the other?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Now it's very easy to recall and understand whole of this. And what I did, what actually to help you understand this whole thing, this is basically I've written at that time with a different military expertise declining. So that is why it is M. So this is D now. This is W. So taking first letter of every this point, we made a word, which may not make any sense to anyone else, but to me or to you, right? So you can make this T, because before it was written military expertise declining. So it can be ward. Now ward, when I will see this thing ward, I will say weak control, Aurangzeb's successors, Aurangzeb's reign or policies, declining military expertise. With this, I can recall all of these four, and when I'll be able to recall of these four, I could be able to recall the detailed points as well later on. So did you understand this now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is one way to, without actually cramming, you can make like little bit of your own logic and sense, right? So we are done with these four, and I hope this must be very easy for you now. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now next we move to, next is also grouped as one. This is related to the nature of empire. Nature of empire mean that what type of empire it was. Okay, uh, what was its system, what was like overall things in there. So nature, one thing which is here mentioned, that Mughal empire was a vast empire, right? It was a vast, it wasn't a small empire, right? Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now it was stretched over a vast mass of land, and Aurangzeb further increased its area, and he had the largest in 1707, and after him it started declining. Definitely, when you had such a large empire, so this was bound to, in a way, shrink or collapsed, because either you had to be very, powerful in order to maintain your control, and if you were not, then definitely the very vastness was the weakness. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now this vast empire, the administrative system of the Mughals, what they had in this empire, was somewhere back then laid down by Akbar the Great, 1571. So it was very efficient, advanced at that point in time. But now it was like 18th century, and the whole world was revolutionized. And this system, by that point in time, had become corrupt, inefficient, and couldn't fulfill the need. Now, this administrative system, which was inefficient now, which was corrupt, which was not delivering or fulfilling the needs to administer the uh, empire properly, to take control of their revenues, taxes, rebellions, etc. So now whole system was like corrupt, and plus the empire was so vast. So this both created resulted in decline. So this is one point. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now plus the other reason that that Mughal India subcontinent, Indian subcontinent, before Mughals even, uh, under Muslims, like they were Muslim ruling before Mughals, and before Muslims even under different Hindus dynasties. India historically, till the time of partition 47, was basically consisted of small princely or large princely states, which mean that this area had many small or large states with their own rulers. So this was one piece of land which was politically or administratively like in pockets. Did you understand this point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I mean, look here. Uh, this whole of India, historically, it was in all of these small areas, princely states, ruled by their rulers. So India was like this. So this was one, but then this was like, you can say that these were small states here. Now it was historically like this, and it was integrated mean only when you had a strong central government, like Mughals came in, and first they took over Delhi and this area, and then they expanded. Now these area became part of them. How? That they surrendered to them, but still they maintained their identity. I mean, what did Mughal do? That let their rulers rule. This area was ruled by Raja, this area was ruled by a Khan or a Nawab. They continued as a local ruler and submitted to the emperor. When British came in, they also did the same thing. Those who fought against them, they defeated and took direct control of the area. Like Tipu Sultan, you might have heard the name. Now, Tipu Sultan did not like British, so he fought against them. So his Mysore state was taken over by the British after he was martyred. So now that was under the direct control of the British. But Hindu Raja in Kashmir did not fight against the British. He just submitted to them. He said, "You are my master, so I will pay taxes." And that's it. They said, "Okay, continue ruling." And that's why in 47 there was a Hindu ruler of Kashmir. So did you understand that even princely states survived during British time, and in 1947 when India was to be partitioned, there were 570 princely states still in India, more or less different figures are there. So these states survived. Now this was like this, that whenever center was powerful, they submitted, and when center became weak, they declared themselves independent. Why would they submit to weak ruler? It's a very simple thing. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
N- Now,
Yes.
now, now, maintaining a control of such empire had a military cost. It was not only that when you were weak, even when you were stronger, some adventurist rulers declared themselves independent. So Mughal came to know that this one declare himself independent. So he's gonna dispatch the army here. Like Aurangzeb was powerful ruler, so he had to fight against the Marathas for 25 years. So he had to had a continuous war with them. So dispatching army there to control Rajput, to Sikhs. So which mean that empire had a lot of problem military cost, what we call it, to maintain the state. Now these fights were because it was politically, administratively divided, culturally, socially, linguistically, religiously divided, and because of this, these people kept fighting, be it emperor or this state, but they were all the part of this land, the Indian subcontinents, and they kept fighting with each other. And it was not only that they weakened the empire, like Mughal empire, but they weakened themselves as well, and that's why British were very much able to take control of them. So there was a huge military cost of maintaining the empire, and that was another cause of the decline of the empire as well. I hope you have understood this.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
To cut it short, we can say that there were continuous warfare going on in India to maintain the control of the empire, which caused a decline. And to add another point to this, these were the general rebellion. There were other sort of wars in India, and those were wars of succession. And Aurangzeb was one of the examples. He had four brothers. They were four brothers. They fought over a period of 1 year, 57 to 58, and 58. Then he became the emperor. He survived. Now, what happened in this 1 year? Four brothers, royal army was divided among four because they were all princes and would be emperors, and they kept fighting with each other. And what happened at the end? That lots of money and men were wasted. And finally, Aurangzeb was able to execute other three and became the emperor. What was the use of these succession wars? It must have weakened the empire, and later on, it became one of the cause of its decline. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we
Yes,
are.
sir.
We still have 2 3 minutes, right? So now this is another set of reason, three reason actually we discussed. So total seven we have discussed, and this you can group as one, WAM, okay, and that is wars of succession, administrative cost or issues problem, and military cost. So this you can make another one word for three reason. We had another word up there, WAAB. This is one word for four reasons, and this is one word for three reasons. So total seven, and you can easily recall. And then if you are good enough to explain the points, so you are done there, no problem. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Still we have 3 minutes, right? So no issue, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, listen. Now the last set of reason, foreign invasions. Foreign invasion, it was not only internal issues faced by the emperor or empire, they were in external as well, foreign. Now, one of such foreign invasion, foreign attack was from Persian. It was Nadir Shah of Persia, 1739. This guy ransacked Delhi and stayed there for a couple of months. And on the way back, he did not only took this Mughals' wealth, huge wealth, even peacock throne, lots of diamond jewelry or many other things. A lot of wealth he took with him, but mainly he took the pride of Mughals with him. The mighty Mughals, the powerful Mughals, now became weak. So this was the evidence that they were not able to defend themselves against Nadir Shah of Persia, who ransacked Delhi, who took their wealth and plus their pride, and made a point that they are no more informidable, they are no more undefeatable, they are no more mightier. And it was the weakness and decline. Reason clear?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Second invasion came from Afghanistan. This was Ahmad Shah Abdali of Afghanistan. Okay, this is one confusion I would clarify. Ahmad Shah Abdali we discussed also with Shah Waliullah's topic. Do you remember that? No? Did you?
Yes, sir, I remember.
Yeah, because he was the one whom Shah Waliullah requested and he came and defeated Marathas in 1761, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, so it was there written Ahmad Shah Abdali of Persia, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you would see that. And here on page 16, if you have the book, you can quickly look at the Afghans, right?
Yes, sir.
And you will see here a third invading force came from Afghanistan in 1947, and a one general called Ahmad Shah Durrani attacked Kabul, Peshawar, and Lahore. So it is written Ahmad Shah Durrani, right? And he is from Afghanistan, right? Did you see this?
Yes, sir.
And I can take you back to Shah Waliullah as well. If you can see page number 6. Page number 6 is there with you. Quickly, please. And page number 6, work heading, last bullet point from the bottom fourth line, you will see that to persuade Ahmad Shah Abdali of Persia to intervene.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now see, this is Ahmad Shah Abdali of Persia or Ahmad Shah Durrani of Afghanistan. This was the same guy, right?
Yes, sir.
Hmm?
Period of sir, period is over.
I know period is over and it's over for me as well, not for you only. But I'm just trying to say that this thing, Ahmad Shah Abdali, Persia and Duran. Okay, we will continue from this
Sir,
point, right?
sir, can I ask a question?
This period is over, man. Okay, say it, hurry up.
Sir, in exam can it come explained why the Mughal Empire declined following the reign of Aurangzeb, not death of Aurangzeb. Can it come like that in assessment?
Yes, there are so many types of question we'll discuss at the end of this. We are just left like 5 minutes of discussion, done with the topic, and we'll talk about the question, right? So, right now, then, Allah Hafiz, take care.
Allah Hafiz, sir.
Hafiz,
Love you,
sir.
sir.
Allah Hafiz, everyone.
Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.